Hello, I'm John Joe. Welcome to Line War, and today we have Proshelest versus Valithor2. Valithor seems to be going for some stealthy buildings in the forest there. He's going to be trying to expand quite heavily. He can't see the enemy, he's only just about spotted him. But Proshelest was able to spot him straight away, which is a bit fortunate for Proshelest, unfortunate for Valithor. And Pro is going to be going for a lot of barracks on the front here with a factory behind, which I think that's an artillery there being built. And he knows where Valithor is. He's not going to worry too much about expanding right now. He's got some units going back there after this is built. But they're going to be putting a lot of effort pushing forward towards Valithor. Valithor is aware of this now, has built some more structures. We've got two barracks currently, two barracks there, two barracks here currently built. And this one, sorry, three. And there's another barracks here being built. It's all in the forest. So even though Pro can see where Valithor is, they can't really see the structures, even if they had visible range over it. So Valithor is going to be able to be sneaky here. And definitely knows that Pro is in the area. And he's got some lines set up to go around. This is a commando line. So he's building two groups of commandos here. And those are going to try and sneak around and try to get to the eco of Pro, by the looks of things. But at this point, he's also aware of it. He's still going to focus on expanding. Definitely going to be doing a lot of expanding there. And these guys over here are going to be producing, and they're going to be spreading out this way and that way. And it looks like another commander line, so we've got another one there. So Valithor, as per their usual, is going to be trying some sneaky strategies right now. And Pro is going to be bringing most of their units in through one little funnel here. Straight towards Valithor's main area by the looks of things. Valithor, I believe, is in this forest and up here. Let's check over that because I can't see him. Yeah, so that's about right. And Pro is going to try and hide in the forest for a little bit before revealing himself straight away. But yeah, it looks like they're going to funnel straight through as a group. They've spread the lines out a bit more to keep the front line a bit stronger. It looks like he's preparing to wait for his units to get in a bit closer to prepare for an attack. Now you can see there's some units in the forest here, but Valithor will actually probably have more units. As you can see, some more are in the forest there. And Pro just can't see them all. Some of them, they're appearing more now because there's more units. But the forest is trying to cover up some stealth units there. You see the commandos just popped out. But as the units gain more visibility from their numbers, they will start to see through the forest stealth. And it looks like Valithor's kind of ambushing Pro right now from the forest. And certainly has a bigger front line here. Now, Pro has spotted some units going this way and is going to send off some units to go follow, some ground units. But at the same time, Valithor is going to put on the pressure up in this direction. Pro can see the territories being taken, but can't really see what units are there right now. So needs to get some information that way. And although I thought Pro had more units in this area, it looks like Valithor has managed to take advantage of the front line with the stealth, allowing him to get a bit of an advantage over Pro, despite the potentially less units. I mean, I haven't properly counted them, but I'm pretty sure Valithor actually had less units to start this engagement. But you gotta remember, as Valithor's units are dying, they are being replaced, so that is also contributing to that. Proshelest is trying to put on the pressure, and is even confident in taking this location as they've built a factory here to be built. But I think Valithor has the advantage right now, because not only have they got this front line which they have less units, but it's the production that's keeping them going. They also have the units over here that are going on the offensive right now, and at some point we'll have another group over there. But just so you know, the commando line that was drawn up here has been removed, mostly because of the force that was coming in this way. And he even brought back some of the units that were going out for territory grabs, and they've come back into this fight. It looks like Valithor is going to be struggling right now. It's mostly because the artillery is back up. But nonetheless, I think that Valithor will be able to distract the majority of the forces here with the units that are moving in at the top, gives them a bit more time just to progress. And we still have some expanding units, but I don't think there's any more over here. No, they brought back in from there. There we go, he's changed the line over here. So Valithor's still got these units. They've gone on a faster line movement. They're just trying to get into the battlefield because at this point it's going to end up being a base trade where Pro is going to be trying to take away the barracks here. And Valithor is moving his units in just to add that extra pressure and potentially make these guys retreat. And even if they don't, then it leaves his base undefended. Or relatively undefended. There are units there. Have a look what Valithor's doing. We can target this factory here, try and take that out. Which is probably quite a good idea right now because the units are here distracted. The factory there is going to be producing more dangerous units, which is the artillery. And he's going to be trying to bring these in. Do you think it would be more beneficial to try and go this way? Or straight to this one? I think that's probably the best option. Definitely want to take out the production where possible because it's very minimally defended. Now they are on haste mode, but they're going over the mountain, which is causing them to walk a bit slower. But also these units are going over it, so they're going to be walking a bit slower too. So Valithor has lost one barracks here, but with the amount of units left over, he might still be able to take this back by bringing these units back round. Yeah, so he's placed the circle commands now to bring these units down here, and a strike command here so that these units target there. Most of them are going to probably follow the strike command over these circles. So Valithor is going more offensive right now than defensive. Is Pro actually expanding much? He's got some units out there expanding. I'd probably turn the artillery off on this line. Make sure the artillery followed this way because that's where most of the action is. So at this point, Pro has taken a barracks and lost a factory. So Valithor turned a bad situation into a good one at this point. But unfortunately won't have many units to be offensive with now. And I think Valithor might end up losing this area completely. Let's have a look at the economy because I think that is where Valithor might be winning on instead. So Pro is on 404, whereas Valithor is on 580. He's got nearly 50% more. And that's mostly because of the units he had ecoing, claiming these territories, while these attacks were going on, and Pro went fully on the assault at the beginning, sending only his reinforcements to go and expand. And even now Valithor is expanding towards the base with his units to try and come in from the back, which Pro hasn't actually got any eco structures. And I think that's something Valithor's trying to target right now. There's another barracks gone. We've only got one left in this section down here. These units are going to have to divert their flow this way. But you've got to remember that Pro doesn't know where Valithor's barracks is. He can probably make an educated guess considering the units are coming from this way. But it is still going to be a guess, because even though he finds these ones, there's going to be these ones up here to find. And that's going to take Pro quite a bit of time, and considering Valithor has an eco advantage, I think Valithor is going to do very well in this fight right now. I think Valithor is hoping that this barracks is going to remain stealthed and trying to move these units around and away, or just trying to save the units that he has. Well, it looks like that did go down anyway. Ah, it's because of the stealth in there, so he was just trying to get the units out of there instead of being fired upon straight away. And Pro is building another factory right here, because he's determined to have this spot right here, because the last factory was just there. And it looks like Pro has forgotten about these units up here, which is very important for him right now because he's behind on eco. And he doesn't have too many units expanding. He's got some going down this way, which they're going to need to come back soon. But he'll have needed these guys to be expanding somewhere else, because he's only on 460 right now when it comes to eco. Valithor is on 690. So Valithor's growing really fast. And he's got a group of commandos over here, which can, if used correctly, can do quite a lot of damage. And Valithor, I've seen use commandos really well in the past. not sure what Valithor's plan is here. He's going to try and move these units around that way. We'll have to see what his plan is there. Oh, there you go. It's just to spread them out maybe, or trying to cut them off beforehand. Let's have a look how far Valithor's go. So he's taken over all of this area, and he's moving his way up towards this area now. He's got a small group of units up here, which you'll be able to see what's going on over there while these commandos move into position. There we go. Pro has found these units over here. He's bringing them down just to try and take out these units and take the territory back by the looks of things. Pro can see through the stealth here. He's got enough units to get that vision. And Valithor doesn't quite have the units to fend off this attack right now. But on the other hand, even though Pro can't see the commandos, they're in this section here capturing some land. And that might actually give away what units he's got there. To be fair, it has already. There we go. We've got some commandos there. Trying to move in, stealthed. And it looks like there's just two, but there's a lot in that area that Pro does not know about. There we go. So some units are going to try and sneak right round the back. So I think Valithor is trying to build up some units with these barracks here while this one takes some damage. So that he can try and do some damage afterwards, or at least have a chance at defending it. And he's being quite careful. He's spreading out his structures around the bottom of the map so he can capture more territories along this way, which will help build his eco up for later. So Valithor is definitely trying to play the long game in this one. Make sure he can survive and do as much damage while Pro's main army is out on the offense. And he split off his commandos so that they end up going two different directions. As the main army saw some commandos, they're going to try and follow the other ones. That's quite a nice diversion there. Over here, Proshelest is not too worried about what's going on with Valithor. It looks like they're going to focus on trying to take the territory now, while they feel like they have the advantage. Which might quite well be the case. They do have quite a large force, and they're just literally going to sweep through the grounds here. And as we can now see, quite a few units have built up here. Pro is not taking any risks, and he's going to move the units straight through the forest now. But still have their expanding forces up in the north. Down here we've still got these units. They have been... they've nearly captured everything there. And these guys are chasing after Valithor's units, capturing the land as they go. And another barracks has been placed to support this front line. And from Valithor's perspective right now, they are right in the middle of Pro's base, and I didn't even notice this from Pro's perspective, so these units are going to do quite a good job at trying to take out some structures here if Pro does not respond. At the same time, we have some commandos sneaking off to the top. I'm going to assume that he's going to try and take some territory up here with these commandos. Yeah, I can see the line now. So when they do that, he's going to build some structures up there to come back down through the base. Valithor generally likes to build in multiple locations and hit from multiple angles. That's usually his late game objective, from what I've noticed. And it seems to be quite effective. We've got some SAM on the field, so Pro thinks that Valithor is going to be switching into air units soon. Most of his efforts right now have been barracks only. I don't remember seeing a factory. He probably did build one factory at some point, right at the beginning, I think. But I think Valithor is practically going with infantry only right now. And he's managing to get right in that base from Pro. Pro is not really able to do much against this. I think those commanders are going to do a very good job clearing up these structures. And it's more important for Pro not to lose the structures because he's really behind on eco. But to be fair, right now he's probably catching up with the amount of units he's got spreading out across the map. Yet Pro is still behind Valithor, because Valithor's on 860. And Pro is on 760. Those commandos are getting right into the base now. Another structure's been placed here, which is probably a bad idea as these commandos get through this area. But Pro has spotted this at this point. He is going to try and deal with it. Over here the commandos have been spotted, and I think there's enough commandos to deal with this small group, even the artillery. But not this group down here. This group's quite large, and I think that he's going to struggle to defend over there. Have a look at Valithor. So he's got, yeah, literally nothing here to defend from that main army there. Which is unfortunate, but he's doing the best he can. He's managed to take out another structure down here. And there are 3 to choose from. He can go for this one, or the barracks over here. And what's going on up here? Yeah, he's building another barracks there with commandos to come down and try and attack. The other commandos are going to try and expand and collect some extra territories for him. This battle is going on all over the place. I think Pro wants it to happen in one location with the army that he has. So he's trying to go in full force, but Valithor is spreading out his forces. Not too much that they're ineffective, but just enough to get through and destroy some structures. And is potentially being just as effective as Pro at destroying the structures. There we go. The commandos are getting through. They're destroying some structures. They found another factory to go for. And then there's these commandos up here, which we've been following for a little bit. And they're going for the 2 barracks. These commandos came from the barracks down here that we looked at earlier. And some of them are expanding, which are going to do a very good job. Valithor has pretty much planned out his entire expanse throughout this map. But whenever Valithor builds a big group of structures, Pro just comes over and sweeps through them. So Valithor's answer to that is just spreading out his structures across the bottom line of the map right now. And also, you've got to remember this one structure up here, because I can imagine that later on Valithor's going to add a few more structures there. Try and come down. So we've got another structure down. Those commandos are going to come down and target this structure now. The commandos dotted around are just targeting barracks everywhere. But at the same time, Pro is destroying barracks in large groups really fast. Some more commandos are snuck off up to the top here, and they're going to sweep down this way. But Pro is still expanding over this way. He's got a fairly sizable force here against commandos. They should be relatively fine, knowing how many commandos are in the area. It's taken over quite a large amount of land. There we go. So Valithor has lost this area now. But because they're barracks, they are quite cheap to replace. But the barracks that Valithor's taken out is combined with factories, which are not as cheap to replace. Valithor's doing a great job at trying to balance out the playing field, using small strike forces versus a massive large army. I think these units are not quite close enough to the line to actually catch on, and they've just ended up being left behind. I think these 2 units are dancing between the lines. Anyway, so from Pro's perspective, literally occupying Valithor's old location and clinging on bare minimally to his original location. Otherwise, doesn't have much production. We've got 6 structures producing, and there are some over here, I think. Nope. Yes, that's it. So Proshelest only has 6 production structures right now. Whereas Valithor has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 up here. 3 up here. So when it comes to production, I think Valithor is way ahead. And is going to continue to chip away at Proshelest until Valithor can deal with them on the front lines in full force. As you can see, there's another factory here about to go down. I think most people generally try to play with one large army and just sneak around with a few commandos. I feel like Valithor's gone around with one massive group of commandos and split them off into loads of little sections to deal with Proshelest's main, like, little areas. And has managed to get in through the gaps. Even here, where it's quite heavily defended, and the commandos are just getting through and poking a massive hole in there, taking out some structures. And Proshelest practically, this main army was coming through this way and has gone round this island, is chasing the commandos. There we go, so they're trying to get away from the army down here by the looks of it. And they're going to move up towards this area, which is fairly undefended. Over here, the factory was destroyed, but I think a lot of the commandos might have been lost. Some of them haven't been used yet, so no, not quite. There's 2 artillery there. Those commandos did get another barracks there. And to be fair, Valithor has an amazing amount of vision across the entire map. So, at this point, I'm going to check the eco again. We've got 1,300 from Valithor and 700 from Proshelest. So, Valithor is now nearly doubling the economy of Pro. And pretty much has vision everywhere on the map. I think Valithor is taking out the groups of Pros that we're trying to expand. And it's just doing enough strike force damage in random locations to stop Pro. But at this point, Pro has grouped most of his structures together, and it's going to be a lot harder for Valithor to, you know, poke holes through it. But with the eco difference, Valithor might switch up his tactics and try something different to try and put more pressure there, or just group his commandos all together and plow through it instead. We've got a circle of barracks here. Knights of the Round barracks are going through this way. Valithor at this point is just going to apply pressure everywhere, bringing commandos in through the top and down through this way. And these guys are going to come in this way down there, as well as pretty much all of the barracks in the south coming up towards the north, and come up through this way. So Pro soon might feel pretty trapped. This is going to be the last offensive Proshelest, maybe. Because he can't quite get out there. I think Valithor surrounded him with the territories. Got this group of units over here trying to expand, but any structures at place is going to have 4 barracks over here trying to push against them. But from Proshelest's point of view, he's trying to find Valithor's structures. Got his units moving out. Up here, Valithor is probably suspicious of having these sections up. Pro is probably suspicious Valithor has something up here. So he's actually going to go check that out with a group of units. But he has just deleted the line, so I'm not sure what he's planning to do. And the groups of commandos are moving up through the middle now. It's hard to see the commandos. That's why I'm sticking to Valithor's side of things mostly. We can actually see everything going on because the commandos are stealth, so we can't see him from Pro's side of things. Which is a problem that Pro's actually having to deal with himself. So these guys have actually managed to get through, as the main force is this way, coming out, spread out like a star if I remember. But yeah, a lot of these are just coming out, spreading themselves out, trying to find stuff. And the commandos are taking them out before they can do anything effective right now. Even over here, the expanding forces are being taken out slowly by small groups of commandos. Even if the commandos are losing the battle, eventually they will come out on top, as these aren't being reinforced. And Valithor is pretty much just focused on taking out production. So Pro just keeps his numbers down. That's pretty much what Valithor is trying to do here, just keep the numbers of Pro down, so he can't build up a big enough force again. There we go, so those units took out the barracks over here. And it looks like these guys are going to come towards the artillery there to try and take those out. Anything that's trying to expand outside, Valithor does not want to happen. And as he's still taking structures out down here, he is also pushing him through the top there, taking out the barracks in those mountains, leaving only what's in the forest, but Valithor can see everything that's going on there. And his commandos are going to start moving in from this area now as well, which is completely undefended. Yeah. There isn't many units left now from Pro. We do still have the expanding forces left over. Here is 2 units. The artillery and the infantry, which is slowly getting taken out. And that's it. Proshelest is left with just this section of the map, and he has given up the game. The end of the match has been reached. And I am surprised how effective those commandos were. Let me know what you think Proshelest could have done instead of grouping his units in one big group to send off to take out the base. I think that's what a lot of people would do. And not a lot of people would use commandos only and just spread them out so far that they become just as effective as one large army. Anyway, there are 2 videos on screen right now. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you in one of those videos. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.